Hey guys, Dr. Ben here. Let's talk about viruses today. Let's talk about the immune system and why do some people, they got this ironclad immune system, right? I haven't been sick in years. And then other people are like, holy cow, I get every little thing going around. If somebody sneezes 3 houses down, I'm going to get that cold, get that flu, get that virus, whatever it is. So why is that? Why are different people less likely or more likely to get sick? And there's different levels of infection because we're exposed to things all the time. I guarantee you, I'm going to Costco, Monday night Costco trip, I'm going tonight, and I guarantee you I'm going to be exposed to some germs. Whether that's touching the machine, putting my card in, whether that's the big plastic barrier that like germs are all on and I touch it accidentally, whatever it is, I guarantee you I'm going to get exposed to some germs. There might be somebody that comes into the office today and they've got a little cold or flu or whatever it is, and yet I probably will not get sick. My immune system will do what it's supposed to do. So why do some people they don't get sick at all, and that's not fair? And you're like, come on, I get everything. And then other people are like, holy cow, every little thing that goes around, I get it. So let's get into that today. Love having you guys on. Pop down below where you're watching from. Tell me the last time you've been sick. Tell me if you're one of those, if you get sick once every 10 years, or if you're like, holy cow, I had a patient a couple years ago, she had strep throat 11 times in the last 12 months. It was crazy, like almost every single month it was going through there. So pop down, let me know where you're watching from and when the last time you were sick, and if you're one of those just ironclad immune systems, or if you're like, holy cow, why do I get every little thing going around? Hey Sherry, good to see you. All right, so why do some people have better immune systems? Why do some people fight things off better? All of those things. And why do some people don't? So one of the interesting things, hey Julie, great to see you. I haven't been sick since last November. Great job. You must be doing some good stuff up there, Julie. We'll be driving past your place. We're going up to Sundance on Thursday. Going to go deer hunting. So we're excited. Sherry a couple weeks ago did Colleen recovering from COVID. Jay in Chicago, heavy metals. I read Mercury hangs out in the white blood cells. Heavy metals can throw a lot of things out of balance. So here we go. We have hundreds of different cold viruses. This is one of the biggest reasons why some people can recognize certain ones of them and others people immune system cannot. So you may have been exposed to a cold, and this is the common coronaviruses that are out there, and we see a lot of these. And so people, their immune system sometimes can recognize some of these old cold coronaviruses, and they can say, ooh, I know what to do with this one. And their immune systems are more robust. Genetics play a big role in this. Some people's genes are just more predisposed to be able to identify these and also be able to go, okay, that looks close enough to this other one that we fought off, and now we're going to be able to move forward. One of the big reasons why you don't see cold vaccines is that there's literally hundreds and hundreds of vaccines out there, or hundreds and hundreds of viruses out there for the common cold. And so there's no way you would be able to each season vaccinate against all of those. And that's one of the problems with the influenza, and that even the influenza, we see multiple different types of flu every year. And these are going to ultimately be hard to detect as well. Hey Kat, great to see you up in Canada. And Toby, hope you guys are doing well out there. Got some antelope, I bet. So the influenza, this is another reason why the flu vaccine is, I'm not going to say worthless, but most years, it's as little as 10% accurate. It's like really, really hard because there are multiple strains of the flus out there. Obviously, hundreds of cold coronavirus strains out there. And this is one of the reasons why with the Delta variant that went around this last wave of COVID, why it was so challenging, especially for people that had already been vaccinated, because they had already been vaccinated against this certain type of COVID they were looking at. But then this other strain came around, so just like influenza, it goes from like 90% effective, it goes down to 10, 20, 30, 40%. And in 6 months, Plus, with the Delta variant with COVID, we saw Moderna go down to just over 50%. Pfizer was under 50%. Johnson & Johnson was down to like 13% effective because of this variability, and that it's not going. So this vaccine is not going to be a consistent thing that you're going to be like, oh, good. No matter what's coming next, which strain, because most people think in the medical community think that COVID is going to become kind of like the influenzas, like the common colds. It's going to become a seasonal thing, and it's going to keep coming around. Hey, Sean, great to see you. It's going to keep coming around. And so what do we have to do? Well, for one thing, it's going to keep evolving and be a different strain. And so if all they do is stay with this vaccine that they have right now, and Moderna and Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson looks like it's going to be almost gone. Nobody's doing that one anymore. But just those two, then it's not going to be very effective, and we're not going to have it'll be that 10 to 30% effectiveness down the road, and it's going to do not a whole lot of anything. It'll be like the flu vaccine. So if they really want to do something, they're going to have to keep ahead of it and always be working on the new variables and different things in there. So some other things that we look at sometimes, why some people don't get sick is they're lucky. It sometimes can be a matter of chance. Give me a thumbs up if any of you are lucky immune system people, you think, and just that you're like, I don't know, I don't really even take care of myself, and yet I don't get sick. That there's those people out there that aren't sleeping great, that are stressed out, but they just don't get sick, and so that happens as well. And some people are just a little bit more lucky. Hey, Jenny, great to see you. Yes, awesome. Thanks for the kind words there. So sometimes it is just a matter of chance, and good or bad. You can be in the wrong place at the wrong time. You walk in, I was at Costco a couple weeks ago, and somebody pulled down their mask, and they sneezed and then put their mask back on. And it's like, okay, well, do it in your elbow, do it under your shirt, whatever it is. Don't just go sneeze out like that. So, maybe I walked right through that ball of viruses right after they had sneezed, and that was a big part of why somebody got sick. But it's also, what is your immune system doing at that time? Because think about that too. Again, you've been exposed to viruses. I put a post up last week. Some people got a little worked up about it. Some others didn't. But I said it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're going to get COVID. And people are like, I haven't had it yet. And I'm like, well, you may not have actually had it. And this is the difference, is that in that post, I could have said, you're going to get exposed at some point. Guaranteed everybody's going to get exposed to COVID. And so I think people were thinking, oh, it's not going to be, I'm not going to get really sick from it. And so, sure, there's some people I guarantee have antibodies right now that had no outward symptoms, or maybe it was just a little sniffle and that was it, and their body dealt with it. So it doesn't mean that everybody is going to get fully sick and like, oh my gosh, I'm 2 weeks beat down, going to the hospital, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be like that. And yet we're going to get exposed. You're going to get exposed to the flu this year. You're going to get exposed to some cold viruses. You're going to get exposed to COVID the next round it comes out, and it's going to be the gamma, epsilon, whatever variant that it is at that point. We're going to get exposed to that. But, it's the chance as well. So like there, I just rub my eye, and maybe somebody rubs their eye and then they shake your hand or whatever it is, and you were just that in the wrong place at the wrong time for that. But also, what did you just eat in the last 4 to 8 to even 12 hours? We know that when that blood sugar spikes up, it's going to decrease the immune system for up to 8 to 12 hours even. Definitely 4, but there's some research showing that it could decrease for even 8 to 12 hours in there. So did you just have this blood sugar spike from something that you ate? That could be a big part of it. Have you been stressed out? So what have you been doing to your stress levels? Have you been calming them down? Have you been relaxing? Or has your body been on this fight or flight, and then you're not able to respond with that immune system like you need to? Did you not get very good sleep for the last 3-4 nights? Maybe you were up too late or too early, whatever, with the time change or all these different things, and you didn't get the quality sleep that you need. need. All of these factors come into it, and then you've got that chance of, oh, you have this exposure or didn't have this exposure. That there's some research showing that what's the first type of strain of flu that you get exposed to as a kid? And that even plays into somebody's immune system, and that if people are exposed to a certain type, they're going to be in better shape, and some people that aren't exposed to that type, they're not going to be able to fight as much off. Genes matter as well. So certain genes, when they've gone through the genome now, they've been able to identify hundreds, if not thousands, of different genes that have an effect on your immune system. And so certain genes are going to be passed down. Maybe a genetic family line beat the bubonic plague or whatever, and their immune system has now passed on these genes, and it's a huge shift there. So there are genetics involved in this as well. There was research a couple years ago that showed kids that grew up on a farm. Give me thumbs up, any farm kids out there? I know we've got lots from Nebraska and Wyoming and all over the place. Give me a thumbs up, any farm and ranch kids out there. If you grew up on a farm or ranch, very good chance that you have a more robust immune system, and that even there's less cases of autoimmunity. Bunch of thumbs coming up there. Love seeing you guys out there. Very good chance that you've got better immunity than somebody that grew up in a suburbia, never was out, and that was looking at the microbiome. They're playing in the dirt. They're birthing out goats, and they're holding that little goat. My kids, when we lived on our little farm, the kids were out there. They were birthing the alpacas and holding them and drying them off, and doing all these things. And they were getting exposed, scooping poop, playing with the chickens. All of those things. Their microbiome inside of them changed. We have gotten so sterile. I've got my hand sanitizer. It's a natural one, but still, we've got hand sanitizers everywhere. My kid, hey Gina, Bronx born and bred, but trying to live like a farm girl in crazy New York. Great job. My oldest at school, he said there's the cleaning Nazi that runs around and is like spraying everything down, and as soon as a kid leaves, they're like hosing it all down with who knows what, some bleach solution, whatever it is. And I mean, they're just like sterilizing everything. And so on some level, that's not very good either. There's a lot of research showing that we have all this microbiome all over our skin, our face, our mouth, everything. And if we are constantly hosing it down, killing those off, that's going to throw a lot of things out of balance. There's certain viruses that can actually alter the immune system, even for years. And so a lot of the chronic viruses, even Epstein-Barr and a lot of these different ones, can chronically deplete the immune system, and you've got to know if those are an issue as well. You look at exercise. Some people exercise too much. Some people exercise too little. But this is what I always think about. Okay, most people don't exercise enough. You could probably give me a thumbs up if you know you don't exercise enough, and no one's going to admit it, but those of you that are exercising, the majority are usually exercising too much, and so their heart rate's going up too high, they're stressing out their body, and they're causing more issues there. So it's a very, very fine and sweet spot in there. I'm always changing up my routines, but right now I ran a mile this morning, kept my heart rate at a certain level, and this is what I'm going to do over the next couple months. Is every time I do that, I'm going to be able to maintain in my same heart rate a little bit longer without it getting up too high and having to slow down. So I'm going to be able to, hey Cheryl, great to see you. I'm going to be able to maintain that. And so then from there, I'm going to be able to go up a little bit faster. I was at 6 miles an hour today. I'm going to be able to go up to 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, and I'm going to be able to do more work in that same heart rate. And so that's how I know I'm getting in better shape, is because the more work you can do, but keep the heart rate the same, that is getting in shape. It's not just being able to push yourself and push yourself past that point of exhaustion or anything else. So it's really about can you do more work at the same heart rate zone? 180 minus your age, minus 5 if you haven't been exercising or if you have health issues, and that's the sweet spot you want to get into. So exercise is great, but some people, they deplete their immune system because they're going too hard. They're hitting 160s, 70s, 80s on their heart rate, or they're going too long, or they're doing these ultra marathons and all these things. And then there's other people that aren't doing much exercise at all, and remember, movement is not exercise. So just going out and going for a walk, letting the dog pee here and there, that is not exercise. That's movement. We should do 5 miles of that regardless, and just living life. So all of these different things can then build up to, okay, my immune system is working good, my immune system is not working good. So here's the deal. No matter whether you've had the shot or you haven't, or you plan on getting a booster or you're not going to, here's what we need to do. We need to make sure our immune system is working as great as it possibly can. We know the things that damage it, so you've got to reverse those and put those back to a good level. So we know that the research is showing very, very high decrease even within 6 months for older people, everybody involved, even in getting COVID and dying from COVID, all these things, it can drop very, very quickly, even below 50%. So we know that we've got to keep our immune system strong. The next variant that comes around, it's probably even going to be worse, and there's even going to be lower percentages. And remember, more people have died in 2021 from COVID than they did from 2020, and that's with all of the shots and everything. So we've got to keep our immune system strong. We've got to be working as hard as we can every single day. Keep it strong, keep it vibrant, and just do the things that you know work. Do less of the things that don't work, and you are going to be able to conquer anything that comes at you. You've got that potential and ability inside of you. So thanks for watching, guys. Love having you on. If you've got any questions, pop those down below. Otherwise, we'll be in touch, and we'll be going live this week. And Thursday, we'll be doing the live Q&A. So that one's always fun. We get all kinds of interesting questions. So make sure you tune in for that one, 8:30 Mountain Time on Thursday. Love seeing you guys. Take care.